Oh, this is crazy. Wisdom teeth removal like 9 days ago, and the whole house is sick and trying to sleep. So we'll see if this is actually going to even be able to work. But doing a little bit of a live stream here. So this should be interesting. Starting a Cincinnati Reds live stream franchise. I've done a couple of franchises here on the channel. I did one last year. It was a couple of episodes long with the Padres. Didn't really work out. We did have one with the Reds in 2024, I do believe, or 2023. And then in 2024, we did the Angels, which was actually somewhat of a success, at least as far as putting in episodes goes. Now, will this be a success? I don't know. I think it's definitely worth a shot, though. The Reds are my favorite team in real life, so it was really a no-brainer as to which team I would pick if I was going to do this series. And in real life, I think that they have a really solid team, but they're kind of in this situation now where it's like the time to win is now. You have Ellie De La Cruz, who is the star of this team, an 87 overall, only 24 years old. And in his first 2 years, or 2 full seasons, I should say, at the big leagues, I think that he has been pretty decent. 2024, 259 average, 25 homers, and then last year, 264 average. So the average was up, the home runs were down, the power was a little bit down as far as 2024 goes. But it was really a huge improvement from his 2023 campaign where he had some bright moments, but never really got it going. I think he's really improved every single year, other than the power last year just wasn't really there. 69 stolen bases in 2024, 67 in 2025. So we know Ellie's going to steal bases. We know he's going to eventually, hopefully, develop that power. And then here in real life, I think he's honestly gotten a lot better at hitting lefties. Definitely not a strong suit, though. He is more of a guy who's going to hit right-handed pitching a lot better. He's got great defense, great speed. Just really need to work on that left-handed hitting, get that plate vision up, and I think that he has the potential to be one of the greats. As far as starting pitching goes, Hunter Greene is the next big guy, but will be out for the first 3 to 4 months of this franchise with an elbow injury. But when he's healthy, he is one of the best pitchers in baseball. His season last year before he got hurt was incredible. In my opinion, was on pace to be a potential Cy Young candidate. Even in 2024 was really good with a 2.7 ERA. The whip was down last year compared to 2024. The strikeout numbers were unfortunately down, but that's primarily due to the fact that he pitched in 43 less innings. So the big thing with Hunter Greene, you have to ensure that he stays healthy. When you look at his durability rating, it's at a 65, which is not great. That's definitely a category that you would want Hunter Greene to improve upon. But if you're able to get him there and he stays healthy, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. And then Chase Burns is another one of those guys that, obviously super young, only has a little bit of MLB service time, but has shown some flashes in real life, and especially this year. He looks like one of the best pitchers in baseball at the moment right now with the Reds. Has been our best pitcher by far. It was a rough first, 43 innings for him, though. But here in 2026 in real life has looked amazing. And I think he's definitely a part of the long-term future of this franchise. Andrew Abbott, I'd like to say the same thing about, but honestly hasn't pitched that well in real life this year. Was incredible last year in real life. 149 strikeouts, 2.87 ERA, and that was in a little bit over 160 innings of work. Andrew Abbott, I think, has the potential. Nick Lodolo, of course, has the potential, but kind of the same thing with Hunter Greene at the moment. He's just struggled to really stay healthy. Only 29 games pitched last year, 21 in 2024, but then 2023 was really hurt for the majority of the season. He's another one of those guys that when he's on the field, he is really, really good, but you have to get him on the field. Brady Singer, Rhett Lauder, and Brandon Williamson are the last three here. Rhett Lauder, of course, was a first-round draft pick in 2023. 71 overall is definitely good enough to allow you to play. And last year in 2024, or I guess I should say the year before last in 2024, in 30 innings of work, he was incredible. Had no MLB action in 2025. If I remember correctly, it was due to injury. but here in 2026 is set to be a starter to open up the season with Nick Lodolo and Hunter Green on the IR or IL. Relief pitching, definitely want to improve the bullpen. I think just about every team in this game needs to improve the bullpen. The overalls just seem to be very, very low for a lot of these guys. But we do have some guys that I do like a lot. Tony Santillan is one guy that I really like out of the bullpen. Caleb Ferguson, when he becomes healthy, he's going to be pretty solid for us. And then Connor Phillips is a flamethrower, can get that fastball up to nearly 100 miles per hour. Sam Moll was a trade deadline acquisition in 2023 and has been here ever since. And he's had some up and down relief appearances for the Reds. Emilio Pagan, I think, really, in my opinion, got his huge breakout last year with the Reds. 68 innings of work, 2.88 ERA. He had 32 saves, 6 blown. Before that, had never really been a closer. Maybe with Tampa in 2019 was used as a closer. Had 20 saves that season, 2.3 ERA. But it really feels like last year in 2025 was the breakout year for Emilio Pagan. And at 34 years old, don't really envision him being our long-term closer, but was really solid. Tyler Stevenson has been the catcher here for the Reds since, 2021, been the primary catcher. In 2020 is when he came up, had a 294 average, and has been pretty decent, but that average has kind of dropped a little bit. The power has kind of dropped off. I'm expecting a huge power increase for Tyler Stevenson. He has no secondary position, but I do envision moving Tyler Stevenson to first at some point here in his career. Good power against lefties, good contact versus lefties. Needs to work a little bit on that right-handed contact, but overall, really solid catcher. Is he your long-term solution? I don't know. 29 years old, we'll have to see. Jose Trevino is definitely not that long-term solution. Maybe Alfredo Duno is the long-term solution at catcher, though. 20 years old, 58 overall, so he's a long ways away from being that starting catcher. But the ability behind the plate is pretty much already there. At this point, it's about developing the bat. 38 contact versus right, 41 against left. The power is essentially non-existent. The vision, clutch definitely need to be improved upon. But Alfredo Duno, maybe by the time he hits 23, 24 years old, could be in the mix for the starting catching position. Nathaniel Lowe, Spencer Steer, and Sal Stewart are all first basemen listed on this roster, although I would say Spencer Steer is more of an outfielder. Sal Stewart, though, is the big part of this offense here in 2026. He's the number 15 prospect in baseball, number 1 Reds prospect, but that number will disappear really quickly because he is going to be at the big league level early, as early as opening day. The power for the 22-year-old first baseman is incredible already. 60 power versus right, 68 versus left. The fielding isn't bad either. I think that he probably fits in more as a second baseman, but at the moment will be our first baseman. I think that this guy's incredible, and I think he's going to have an incredible career with the Reds, and the bat's already there. The defense is there. Not really a speedster, but I think that this is an incredible player who I plan on building this team around alongside Ellie De La Cruz, Hunter Green, and a couple other guys here. Maybe Nick Lodolo, but Chase Burns, of course, Andrew Abbott potentially. I did go ahead and DFA Christian Encarnacion Strand. The Reds did it in real life, and I just don't think that there's really a spot for him here in the future with the Reds, especially considering the fact Sal Stewart's here. Spencer Steer. We have all the first basemen that we could possibly need. Maybe Cam Collier in the future, a 60 overall, B potential 21-year-old left-handed bat who projects to have good power. Just hasn't happened yet. He's not really sparked. Matt McLain had a really solid first year with the Reds in 2023, was injured all of 2024, and just hasn't really been able to bounce back after the injury. In 2023, had a 290 average, 16 home runs. It was incredible. He was really, really good. Finished with a 3.3 WAR. Last year, not that great. 220 average. Did have 15 home runs and a little over 500 at-bats, which isn't great, but 15 home runs was fairly similar to the 16 he hit in 2023. Still early in his career. He's going to have, 4 years left here in this system, but this kind of feels like a make it or break it year for Matt McLain before maybe we potentially do try to find a future first baseman and we move Sal Stewart to second, or we find a second baseman in free agency. Speaking of free agency, Eugenio Suarez was the big free agent acquisition for the Reds this past season. 90 power versus right, 93 power versus left. You know Suarez. He is a power hitter through and through. 49 homers last year with the Diamondbacks. 30 in 2024. Had a couple of years where he was kind of a little bit lower here, but before he left Cincinnati, he had a 49 home run season in 2019, 15 in 2020. Of course, that was the COVID season. Had 31 with Cincinnati in 2021, and then with the Mariners was kind of a little bit of a down time for him, but last year with 49 homers, it was incredible. You know what Suarez is all about. Eugenio Suarez is going to hit home runs, and that's what you expect out of him. Projects to be our DH, mainly because Ke'Bryan Hayes is projected to be our starting third baseman for now. I just don't think with his hitting ratings, he's somebody you can continue to roll out onto the field. You know, never really been a great hitter. 271 average in 2023 is not too bad. 15 home runs. You know, that's probably the biggest flash that he's shown as a hitter in his career. If we can somehow get him to that 2023 form that he had with the Pirates, he could be our long-term third baseman starter, but we'll just have to see. We already talked about Elly De La Cruz. He's our starting shortstop. You do have a couple of prospects that I like. And Edwin Arroyo, 22 years old. You know, the bat's not really there, but defensively looks to be really good. Can also play second and third. But Steele Hall was the first-round draft pick last year for the Reds. He is the number 3 prospect in the organization, number 57 prospect in real life. And I think that, in the MLB, I think he looks really good. The fielding's already there. Kind of seems to be the trend with these young guys. Alfredo Duno also was the same situation. Not to mention, he's our second best prospect in the system. The fielding looks good, like I mentioned. Contact, honestly, not terrible. 41 and 44 is terrible, but like compare that to his power, his vision, and clutch. I think that, Steele Hall needs to spend some time in the weight room, but at 61 overall, 18 years old, I think by the time he's 22 years old, he could potentially be ready to, give us a little something in the lineup. Could be the Matt McLain replacement. Like I said, Matt McLain has 4 more years left on his contract. Steele Hall, 4 years, 22 years old, could be up there about 77 overall potentially. Maybe. The outfield is the position group that I think I want to improve upon the most. Dane Myers at 30 years old, just not cutting it for me. Can hit lefties decently well, but other than that, just not somebody that I think is a long-term solution. JJ Bleday is playing really good in real life, but again, at 28 years old, I don't think he's a part of the long-term future in this organization. Had 20 home runs for the Athletics in 2024, 243 average. Never really popped off in his career, though. Center field, TJ Friedel, I think, is a good player, but at 30 years old, I don't know. Just have to see. I think that he has had a pretty solid career with the Reds. 18 home runs in 2023, 14 last year. The on-base percentages was incredible last year. 364 on-base percentage, an OPS at 742, which isn't bad. But that 2023 TJ Friedel was really, really solid. But is he the long-term, solution in center field? I don't know. Blake Dunn in real life has played pretty well out there. And then we don't really have the prospects out here in the outfield. Like Jay Allen, yeah, that's not really a great prospect for us. Hector Rodriguez, kind of the same situation. These are guys that could come up in the future, but just not really excited about them. Noelvi Marte is a player in real life that I do really like. But unfortunately, just has kind of struggled with the Reds. Last year had a good year with a 263 average, 14 home runs. Of course, had the PED suspension. I think it was probably in between 2024 and 2025. But, what to see on Noelvi Marte. I think I'd love to keep him as our right fielder. He's only 24 years old. He's somebody that I really like in real life. We'll just have to see if he can stick around here for us. And then Will Benson. I think that he hits righties pretty well for power, and he just kind of has a weird role here in this Reds organization. He's kind of been an up and down kind of guy. Sometimes he's at AAA, then he comes up to the big leagues, then he goes right back down to AAA. It was a rough year for him in 2024. 187 average, 226 average last year. Maybe he platoons at some point here for us, but again, the theme with this outfield is I don't see any long-term, solutions at that position group. But that is pretty much the roster in a whole. You can look at the depth chart here, and you can kind of look at, hey, let's go 2020, 30. I mean, let's go 2030 because that'd be after Matt McLain leaves. Where is Steele Hall at? 75 overall is where he projects to be, and he could certainly move over to second base and be that starter for us. And then that would essentially put him at where Matt McLain is at right now. So kind of what I'm thinking as far as the second base position goes. But other than that, Chase Burns looks really good, but that outfield looks weak. Noelvi Marte is about the only player that has high potential, high upside at that position. So may definitely look to improve this team in the draft. And that is going to take me to my next little thing I'm going to talk about before we get into any action here. We are going to go after pitchers, but I'm going to find the best region, and I'm just going to scout that region for probably the 10 weeks. And then those last 4 weeks, I'll try to find some college arms that I think look really good that I could potentially take a swing on in the first round if I don't like the position group players at our selection. So we have Monaco Clemente, who has 96 efficiency, 95 pitchers, 94 discovery. So definitely could find us a hidden gem with that discovery. And then we have Greg Harper. Our other scouts are going to be focusing strictly on position players. Greg Harper, 95 position players, 87 efficiency. And then Don Clemente, 98 position players, 84 efficiency. Strictly focusing on position players, 95 discovery for Don Clemente, so we could look to try and discover some players as well. I'd like to go position players pretty much the entire draft if we could, but I'm not sure if that's really how it's going to play out. I'm trying to figure out how you go to the, I don't even know. Like when we're entering games and stuff like that, I can't even remember how you would do it. But when you look at our budget here, another thing to kind of look at, we're spending $127 million on player salary here in 2026. And I ideally want to try and keep that around that number the whole time, just to kind of keep it realistic, because for some reason the salaries that teams start to spend goes up every single year in this game. Some years you're going to spend more than other years, but I obviously don't want to be spending the amount of money that the Dodgers are spending. Not even really sure how that's going to work out. And I think that's about all we need to cover here. I really wish that I could find out how to do your custom entries or whatever, like when you enter games, like what button do you go to for that? I don't even know. At this point, I think we're good to go. I think here it is, custom game entry conditions. So that's how we're going to play a lot of these. We're going to enter in the 7th inning. We're going to enter in more medium to high situations here. This has us playing 87 games. I feel like this is wrong. The example that they give is the top of the 7th. Home team is up by 2, runners on first and second with nobody out. So I guess that's what I want. And then for player highlight moments, I have us coming in the 7th inning. But we're going to play this full game here on opening day against the Red Sox, but it's going to be a quick counts. That's the way that I want to do this one. And that's the way I think I want to do a lot of the full games that we play. I don't want to screw around and do full games. We'll just do quick counts. I think it'll make it a lot better. So that's the move there. I already have the lineup set and everything like that. I did this all ahead of time. So we're going to get into our first action here. And I think the plan for this first live stream is to get roughly 30 games into the franchise. Then the next episode will probably take us right up to the MLB draft. And then the third live stream will be the MLB draft, trade deadline, all-star break, all of that fun stuff. And then the fourth live stream will pretty much finish off this season. And I think that's probably what I want to do about every season. About 4 episodes, or 4 live streams, I should say, per regular season. And if we do a postseason or off-season, then obviously it'll be different. But rain on opening day. I know I'm a little bit behind here on the MLB The Show content. Kind of didn't know if I wanted to make a franchise on MLB The Show. I did start one off camera, and I just really didn't have fun doing it. But when you watch Mr. Hurricane do his Twins franchise, it just makes you get the itch. And so I got the itch. And so we're going to be playing some MLB The Show here, try and have some fun with it. Of course, the thing that I enjoy the most about the MLB and pretty much the MLB The Show franchise is the player development the draft prospects. I love that stuff. That's my favorite part. So that's the part that I kind of get tuned into the most, is it's scouting. I really enjoy the scouting. I think it's really fun. And I think it could be improved, obviously, but you just got to have some fun with it. So 21 minutes in, and finally getting to some action here. 2-1 count here to Jarren Duran as he leads off for the Red Sox.
That's inside.
Of course, you have the ABS challenge system here in this game. Of course, we'll try not to abuse it.
Nope, that's ball four.
That one is definitely down, so we're not going to be challenging there. But it's a leadoff walk for Andrew Abbott. 1-1 count up coming here with Roman Anthony at the plate.
Ball.
And Andrew Abbott struggling to find the strike zone at the moment. That one hit on the line, and it's going to get through. A walk and then a single. And the Red Sox have 2 on with nobody out. Wilson Contreras here with the Red Sox now. Takes strike 2. Here's Abbott. Gets some swing in. It's a strikeout for Andrew Abbott. First of the season. One to Rafaela. The 1-2. Gets him swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts for Andrew Abbott. Okay, so he's bouncing back here. Bouncing back. Trevor Story now up. And Story watches strike 2. Go circle change. Down and away here. Story watches ball 2. Here's the 2-2 to Story. Hits this one, and we'll see if they test the arm. They do. And the Red Sox take a 1-0 lead. And Welby Marte out there in right field. Not a bad right fielder at all. Defensively, I think he's solid. But the speed on display by Jarren Duran gives the Red Sox a 1-0 lead. As Caleb Durbin steps into the plate. Durbin goes down swinging. And it's 3 strikeouts for Andrew Abbott, but he gives up 1 in the top half of the first. And now we have to face Garrett Crochet. So, not really looking forward to this here as TJ Friedel leads off. Got to remember we're playing quick counts, so we got to protect early in some of these at-bats because we're faced with a 1-2 count as we are right now. Here's the pitch from Crochet, and that one looked like a ball. Friedel did hold back. Ooh, might have been a borderline strike. Here's the 2-2 to Friedel, and he rolls this one over. Contreras will throw it on the Crochet. Matt McClain, we talked about him. 643 OPS last year was not good enough. 220 average was not good enough. He must improve here in his 3rd season as he watches the cutter in for strike 2. That's a pitch to hit, too. That's annoying. Here's the 1-2 from Crochet. Fouled back by McClain. Strike 3. It's going to be really hard for me to talk and hit at the same time. That's going to be a challenge for me here. But Ellie De La Cruz has shown a little bit of pop here against lefties in real life. Obviously, I don't think his attributes really reflect that all that well. Like that right there is a perfect pitch to hit, and he pops it up. A weak fly to left. Wilyer Abreu up next here for the Red Sox as he pops this one up to Matt McClain, who puts it away for out number 1. I just think quick counts is the best way to go here in this franchise, just because you get a lot of time to play these games. So if I do decide I want to play a full game, I don't want it to last an entire hour. As Andrew Abbott gets strikeout number 4 of the game. Pretty good start for Abbott on the mound after struggling the first couple of batters.
That's a ball.
IKF up at the plate here. 2-1 count upcoming. Andrew Abbott, nearly 40 pitches so far in this game. Abbott trying to get out of the inning here. Looks like could be a game in which we really don't see Abbott go too deep. He gets this one rolled over. Ellie on the move, makes the play. Andrew Abbott starting to settle in here into this game as the young rising star Sal Stewart steps into the plate here for the Reds. Here's the 1-1 count from Crochet, and that's a pitch to hit. Oh my gosh. That's 2. The first one to Ellie, and then this one here to Sal Stewart. 2 wonderful pitches to hit, and we ended up just popping them up weakly to left field. Here is Eugenio Suarez now. 91 power against left-handed pitching. Here is the 1-2. And Crochet gets the strikeout. Just going to try and be a little bit more patient at the plate here. How about Spencer Steer? Steer rolls over the sweeper, foul. And that'll bring up a 2-2 count. I just can't get shut out or no hit, and I'll be happy. Okay, this one's hit pretty well to center field. So I got excited because it was our first solid contact of the season. As we go to the 3rd inning now, Jaron Duran, who led this game off with a walk, steps in. Duran hits this one over to Stewart. 1 out. Roman Anthony started his season off with a base hit as he pops this one up to left field. Steer on the move. Steer can't get there. One-two count. Trying to get him to chase. And that's going to be a 2-0 game as Roman Anthony is crushing early in this game. 357 feet, 98 miles per hour off the bat. And Andrew Abbott's pitched really well in this game other than when he's had to face Roman Anthony. 2-0 Red Sox. I think we threw the circle change there, and we just kind of left it up in the zone. And it was a 4-seam fastball up and in, and he actually was able to get around on it. As Wilson Contreras, we got the strikeout of him earlier in this game. We'll look to get it again, and we do. Wilson Contreras goes down twice to strikeouts. Rafaela swings through the fastball. Pretty decent power against left-handed pitching for Rafaela as he hits this one. It's a base knock. .62 pitches into the game here for Andrew Abbott.
Ball, that's low.
That was a borderline strike. I don't know if we would have won the challenge, though. Here's the 2-1. Rafaela takes off. No throw is going to beat Rafaela there. 3-1 to Story. Count will go full. Here's the 3-2. Strike 3. Andrew Abbott, 6 strikeouts through 3 innings of work, but he's given up 2 runs. We still are looking for our first hit of the game. And it's Tyler Stevenson leading us off here in the bottom half of the 3rd. And that's a strike. Good sweeper there from Crochet. Here's the 1-2. Stevenson's got to hold back on that one. Pops out for out number 1. And that brings up Noelvi Marte, a player we were just talking about earlier about. I like him. I'd love for him to be a part of the long-term future of this Reds team. But it's really going to be dependent on how he performs over the next couple of seasons. 24 years old. And I think he's got a really bright future. We'll just have to see how things go with Noelvi Marte. Good pitch to hit. Turns on it, but pops it foul. And Garrett Crochet has faced 8 batters, and he sent all 8 back to the bench, as Ke'Bryan Hayes would be the most unlikely player to get our first hit of the game. Ooh, I'm challenging that one. That was a quick challenge. Here's the 1-2 to Hayes. Garrett Crochet's only thrown 41 pitches. And Ke'Bryan Hayes hits this one pretty decent to center field, but will pop out. And it has not been a good day for the bats today for the Reds.
Leading off for Boston, third baseman, Caleb Durgan.
68 pitches so far in this game for Andrew Abbott. As this bunt is put down, Abbott's going to have to hurry, and he makes the play. Uh-oh.
For the Red Sox, right
I
fielder
feel like usually when it shows that camera pan, somebody's about to be injured. And I think even when we get to the playoffs, I think that quick counts is probably going to be the way that I go. Just because you play those full games and you have a couple of games go to game 7 or game 5. You know, next thing you know, you're playing a postseason and it's taking you like 20-something games to get to where you want to go, as Andrew Abbott picks up strikeout number 7. We're not even 4 innings through this game. Here's the 1-2 from Abbott. Strike 3. It's 8 strikeouts for Andrew Abbott. He's more of a pitch-to-contact guy, in my opinion. But he has struck out 66% of the batters he's faced. Or I guess 66% of the outs that he's gotten have been strikeouts. As here is TJ Friedel now. I think at this point we need to start to be a little bit more patient at the plate. Never mind. They would have been a strike anyway. Oh my gosh, dude. If you guys are watching this stream, in the comments, let me know who is your favorite MLB team. I am a Reds fan. I think this was the easy choice for the team to pick for a live stream franchise.
That's a ball.
I don't know if you heard that, but I definitely barely tapped it. Probably should have been a check swing at least. Okay. We may have our first base runner of the game here. 3-1 count upcoming to Matt McLean. And that was ball 4, and I swung at it. Never fails. Full count here. Crochet. I'm challenging it because I want a base runner that bad. We may have just lost our second challenge, and we did. That's pretty unfortunate. I swung and missed at ball 4. Here's Ellie now. Oh my gosh, these are good pitches to hit, and we're just missing them. Garrett Crochet has a perfect game going here through 4.
Ball.
Good pitch there from Abbott. Here is IKF. That's a good pitch. Can we pick out strikeout number 9? Not yet. I think this will probably be the last inning of the game for Andrew Abbott. Strikeout number 9. There it is.
Up next for the Red Sox, left fielder Jaron Duran.
Hasn't really gone to the sweeper or the cutter in this game. Only a few times. And here is Jaron Duran. Up for the 3rd time in this game. And that one is popped up. Ke'Bryan Hayes is there for the 2nd out. Here's the guy that we have struggled to get out so far in this game. Roman Anthony. Swings and misses at the slurve. And I'm going right back to it. This time just a little bit further out of the zone. Can we get him to chase? Yes, we can. 10 strikeouts for Andrew Abbott. Only allowing 4 hits, 2 runs. And that'll probably end his day. As Sal Stewart steps in, can we please get a base runner in this inning? Or better yet, a hit. Man, I wish I had my challenge back, because I would have lost it again. Here comes the 1-2 from Crochet. As there's base hit number 1 of the season, Sal Stewart.
Up next for the Reds, designated hitter
And now we have one of our most dangerous hitters in the lineup standing in. 1 on, nobody out for the Reds here in the bottom of the 5th. Yeah, shouldn't be chasing that one. Here comes the 1-2. And Suarez pops it up behind the plate. You have to swing at it. It's going to be a strike. Anything close, 2 strikes on you. Just unfortunately pops it up. Here's Steer. No, that's definitely a ball, so they're going to lose this challenge. Oh my gosh, dude. That seemed like it was a lot lower. That's crazy. That's a strike. Because now we're chasing out of the zone because I'm afraid we're going to get rung up. Oh my gosh. Come on, Spencer Steer. How about Tyler Stevenson here? Definitely a little bit of a power threat against lefties. And that's a good cutter. Would have been a strike. Wish Sal Stewart was a little bit faster. We will send him here, though. 3-2 count. And Stevenson pops it up. Well, started off with a base hit. Then we failed to do anything with it. And Andrew Abbott's had such a great game that I think keeping him in for any longer is just hurting him. So we're not going to do that. Instead, we'll bring in the flame-throwing Connor Phillips.
for the Reds, number 34, Connor.
Facing Wilson Contreras here. Contreras has struck out twice so far in this game. Connor Phillips can get that fastball up to about 101 miles per hour. As the 3-1 is hit pretty well to center field. What's going on? Why am I on the wrong guy? Why would it make me take over the guy who's farther away from the ball? It like made me control Noelvi Marte even though he wasn't the guy who would have been there to make the play. I'm running away from the ball. Rafaela lines out to Sal Stewart for the first out. Whew, that's a not so good pitch right there. We're going to throw that sweeper. We need to throw it not there. That was a little bit better than the one before, but still. Kind of a pitch that scares me a little bit.
Up next for the Red Sox, third baseman Taylor Durden.
Going back to the sweeper here. 1-1 count. Here's the 1-2 from Phillips. And we do work our way around that leadoff double that probably should have been considered an error because whatever the game was doing, I have no idea what the game was doing there. 8-9-1 up, due up next here for the Reds. And it is Noelvi Marte who leads off. Only one hit through 5 innings for the Reds. 2-1 count. Like to be a little bit more patient maybe, but just looked like a pitch that we could definitely turn on.
Up next for the Reds, third baseman.
There's Ke'Bryan Hayes up now. Garrett Crochet, 80 pitches so far in the game. That one is down for ball 2. Oh, that's close. Strike zone's a lot bigger. I'm used to playing Super Mega Baseball. Oh, crap. I've been playing a lot of Super Mega Baseball 4. And the strike zone in that game is a lot smaller. So I find myself chasing a lot more pitches in that game. But then when I play this game right here, I'm not chasing as much. Which isn't bad, but there's some times where I just have a bad read of the strike zone. Oh my gosh. Just making me look foolish. We'll leave Connor Phillips in here for the 7th. Pitched pretty well other than that first hit that he allowed. Wilyer Abreu goes down swinging. Connor Phillips. Good little start to his season. Got to get there. Come on, Marte. You got to make that play. Ooh.
Ball 2.
Oh my gosh, that's not where I wanted that pitch. So if you didn't know, I do the classic pitching. I do timing hitting. That one's going to be a tough one to chase down. And then timing hitting, mainly because it does just allow your players to play to their overall. And so kind of takes the skill out of it, which some people might not like, but you know, you can get really good at the game, and then let's just say you play it for 6 months and you get really good at the game, and then the game becomes not fun because you play the CPU and you dominate all the time. So it's a way for you to play, be hands-on and everything like that, but it leaves it into the hands of the ratings a lot more. As there's a strikeout of Duran. Connor Phillips, 2 really solid innings of work. And we need some offense, please.
Second baseman, Matt McLean.
It's a good pitch to hit there. Gotta keep an eye on what the count is, because that could have very well been strike 3, and I wouldn't have known. There we go. There's a base knock. Just kidding. Hard contact, though, for McLean. Here's Ellie De La Cruz. He's flied out and he's popped out in this game. This may be Crochet's last batter. Can't chase them. That's atrocious. There we go. Proud of myself for holding back on that one. Whew. Fouls it away, but that was definitely ball 3. And I wish I had a challenge left, because I feel like that was definitely not a strike. It Would have been one. Unfortunate right here. Oh my gosh, that's a perfect pitch to hit, and he pops it up to short. Garrett Crochet, 7 scoreless, only allowing the 1 hit. And we're going into a rain delay. Man, we have 2 innings left. Let's just finish the game. We'll go Graham Ashcraft.
Now pitching for the Reds, number
3.99 ERA last year for the Reds. Was a starter early in his career. Transitioned to the bullpen, where I think he's definitely found where he is a lot better. Strike 3 on Roman Anthony. Quick 1 out for the Reds. As Contreras fouls this one. Ooh, thought we were going to see the 3rd strikeout of the game for Wilson Contreras. This one will be hit the center. TJ Friedel will make the play. For the people that are watching this, who is your favorite MLB team? The Reds are my favorite team. I'm sorry if you've been in here and you heard that before, but the Reds are my favorite team. So it was an easy choice as to who I was going to pick for this live stream franchise. The time to win for Cincinnati is kind of now. You have one of the most exciting players you've had in franchise history in Ellie De La Cruz. And he's got about 4 more years left before he would technically hit free agency. The question is, though, you don't want him to go to free agency, so you have to build a winning ball club around him now. Because if you don't, he may risk leaving due to the fact that you're not putting together a team that is competing. Obviously went to the playoffs last year, but unfortunately got stuck facing the Dodgers, and that's always going to suck. That's 2 strikes on Suarez, so we got to protect. Whew, not protect that. All right. Count is full as Aroldis Chapman, the former Red, gets working in the bullpen. Gosh, come on, Suarez. Too late on it. 96-mile-per-hour sinker.
That's ball 3.
Oh, that was a perfect pitch. 3-2 upcoming, full count. We get our first walk of the season. Perfect to the shortstop. Like, what is a perfect then? Come on. We've had some hard contact. Matt McLean had one over 100 miles per hour. Spencer Steer now. But unfortunately, we're just hitting it right to these Red Sox defenders. Oh my gosh, that's a good pitch to hit there. Just late on the slider. Just kind of sat back on it. Wasn't really prepared for it. Strike 3. So I think we started this game about 21 minutes into the stream. We're about at 49 minutes right now. So about 30 minutes to do one of these quick count games, which isn't bad. That is a lot better than an hour. And we're not going to do quick counts every single game, obviously. We'll pick and choose our spots where we want to play full games. But it's not going to be very many, especially here in Season 1 as Graham Ashcraft picks up another strikeout. Carlos Narvaez up. There's a swing and a miss. Go right back to the slider. That's not where you want that one. Noelvi Marte back to the track and makes the play. We've had one hit all game. And now we have to face one of the best closers pretty much in my life. Mariano Rivera very clearly is number 1. Craig Kimbrell was really good. Aroldis Chapman, though, is certainly up there. It'll be Noelvi Marte Brian Hayes, and then TJ Friedel. We'd have to get a couple of base runners if we were to see Ellie De La Cruz get another at-bat. And there's strike 3 on Marte.
Up next for the Reds, third baseman.
How do we do this? Substitution. I mean, who do you put in? Dane Myers? I mean, we could. We'll put Dane Myers in here. I guess we probably could have had Dane Myers hit for TJ Friedel. Man, I hate the two-handed swing motion. Like the follow-through motion. It makes the batter look goofy. 2-2 count. Fouls away the fastball. And that one's rolled over to third. 2 outs. Friedel has struck out, popped out, and grounded out in this game. He's 0 for 3, and the Reds are pretty much 0 for 27, other than the one hit by Sal Stewart. 2-0 shutout on opening day. We lose. We got a lot of work to do. Andrew Abbott was really good, though. If he didn't have to face Roman Anthony, would have been, pitching him really well. You look at it here. We had the one hit. We struck out 9 times. Andrew Abbott, 5 innings, 2 earned, 10 strikeouts, though. Connor Phillips had 2, and then Graham Ashcraft had 2 as well. Really good day there. Garrett Crochet, 6 strikeouts for him. Garrett Whitlock had 2, and Aroldis Chapman had the 1. But it's a 2-0 loss on opening day. Now we got to get into some simulating here because we've been streaming for 53 minutes. I said we're trying to get about 30 games into the season, a.k.a. try to get to May 1st. We got some work to do here if we want to make up that much ground here. Brady Singer on the mound here for game 2. Now, really, the question is here, how many of these games do you really want to hop into? We'll hop into this first series against the Red Sox because it's the opening series of the season. But, as the season goes on, I think we're going to hop into less and less of these, especially depending on, I like to play the game enough to where, it doesn't feel like I'm going too fast. But I don't like to spend, a bunch of time hopping into a lot of these games. So 1 on, nobody out here. That one was down. Remember, no quick counts now. And the Red Sox put the tying run in scoring position. That's a good pitch there from Santillan. Trying to get Roman Anthony to chase. He's 0 for 3 after having a home run in the opening day matchup. As this one's going to be hit to Ellie. 1 out. We have 1 concurrent viewer, but 28 total views. I'm kind of happy with that. Runner going. Stevenson has just got the weakest arm over there at catcher. Got to be careful here. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to kind of pitch around Wilyer Abreu here. And that's what we do. So here comes Wilson Contreras, 1 for 2. Ah, come on. Probably should have just not caught it. If I'm being completely honest. Should have just let it go foul, but I wasn't sure if it was going to go foul or it was going to be in fair territory. That's unfortunate right there. So at least we got some runs here in this game, courtesy of not me, Matt McClain. We'll get there for the third out. Unfortunately, the Red Sox do tie it. And let's finish playing this game and see if we can't walk things off here. Justin Slayton on the mound here for the Red Sox. 3 for 3 days so far for Matt McClain. Make it a 4 for 4 day. How about that there? Matt McBang is back, 4 for 4. Now Ellie De La Cruz steps in. He's 1 for 3. And Ellie's going to roll this one over to second. 4-6-3, no.
He made it safe.
With Ellie's speed, you got to expect that he's going to be able to beat those out. And we're going first pitch here with Ellie. Oh, boy. No, I can't swing at that. That's a strike. Whew. I hate when you get to those 2 strike counts because now you're in kind of like protect mode. And you're afraid to kind of try and jump on those fastballs. You're more so just battling. All right, so we'll go to the 9th inning where we'll put in Emilio Pagan. It's not closing time. It's let's try and walk it off in the 9th or go to extras time. That's a strike for sure. Let's see if we can get our first challenge correct here of the season. Oh, just barely. Story goes back up the middle. Red Sox have one on with nobody out.
Ah,
0-2 here on Marcelo Meyer. Or is that Mayer? This one... Again, why is it giving me TJ Friedel to take over here? I guess Noelvi Marte's ball, it felt like there. It's weird who it decides that it wants you to control.
ha.
Carlos Narvaez here for the Red Sox. This one hit well. Noelvi Marte will get to it, though. Caleb Durbin has a home run in this game. Batting 9th for the Red Sox. Has been their best hitter. Runner goes.
Yep.
Stevenson stands no chance. What is this pop time rating? I don't even know how you look. Here's the 0-2. McClain fields it. Can we walk it off here in the bottom half of the ninth? They put in the lefty. It's Danny Colombe. Eugenio Suarez hitless so far this season. Trying my best here. Ideally, we would like to prevent this game from going to extras here. Oh, man. I saw the action on it, and I thought maybe it was a sweeper or like a curve or something. Or a slider. Instead, it was just a cutter. So it never really dropped as Suarez strikes out. Rough start to the season for Eugenio. Oh my gosh, that's the game right there. Just kind of thrown off by the cutter. That one just hit me. I can't read this guy's cutter. And then he hits me with this, the knuckle curve and makes me look stupid. Oh my gosh.
Up next for the Reds, catcher Tyler.
Stevenson also hitless to begin the season. 0 for 3. Out in front of the cutter that time. That one didn't look like it had any break on it. Oh man. If we sit back on it a little bit longer. Battling. That's a ball. That's a ball.
Did he swing?
No, we did not. That cutter. All right, so 10 pitches in. I do think that we could leave Emilio Pagan out there.
Too high.
Strike 3 on Duran. Alrighty. Roman Anthony had a big opening day, but is 0 for 4 here
Ball.
in the second game. Whew. It's a high strike to swing at there. High pitch to swing at. Getting lucky with some of these pitches here. Steer, does he have the arm to get him at third? He's not even going to test him. Nate Eaton. He must have come in. He came in for Wilson Contreras. Not really the guy you'd expect to be hitting here, but it is Nate Eaton.
Just foul.
This right here should be a fairly simple approach right here. Just throw strikes. You're probably going to get him out. Uh-oh. He hit the ball hard. We go to the bottom of the 10th where we'll have an opportunity to win this game. But first, let's get Tyler Stevenson off the base path. And we'll put Will Benson out there. I think you're going bunt here, right? I think it makes sense. Okay, maybe fouling the first one back changes your approach a little bit here. I just don't feel like we have. Gosh, dude. I swear, if Noelvi Marte gets a base hit right here, I'm going to be so frustrated.
He's safe.
Wouldn't have scored. And it probably wouldn't even have went on contact there, since it was on the left side of the infield. But still frustrating. I am going to send Noelvi Marte here.
Too low.
So, kind of just, let's imagine Noelvi Marte struck out instead. That's what pretty much just happened. Gosh, come on, Key Bryan. Has a couple of hits here in this game. 2 for 3.
Ball 2.
Staying alive, staying alive. I think Friedel may be the one that's due up next.
No.
Whew. Surprised they're not. He is going to challenge it. That's strike 3.
For Boston.
Okay, so Garrett Whitlock's coming in. He pitched 1 inning in opening day. And he will face TJ Friedel, who does hit pretty decent against righties. But I think I want to go with Nathaniel Lowe. His first at-bat of the season, and it's a big one. Fouled away. He's also got 86 clutch. That's a ball, too. Spending a lot of time here on these first 2 games. Especially this one. Didn't expect this one. Can Story make the play? He does. How unfortunate. All right, so we have Jose Trevino taking over.
Now catching. Number 35.
And then obviously we want to take Nathaniel Lowe and swap him out with Dane Myers. So now at this point, our entire bench has been utilized. We'll put Graham Ashcraft in the game. 96 speed over there on second, so definitely have to worry about that a little bit. Surprised they didn't try and steal.
No.
Ooh, I'm surprised he didn't go there. Trying to lock in here, and Wilby Marte making some good plays over there on the wall. Trevor Story stands in. Swings and misses at the cutter. Big opportunity here for the Reds. Swing and a miss. Here's the 0-2 to Story. Strike 3. Graham Ashcraft fired up. So we go to the bottom of the 11th. Can we please get it done here? Matt McLean's 4 for 4. I would bunt, but you don't bunt with a guy who's 4 for 4. Okay, you also don't... Come on. Come on. We got this. What better guy to walk it off than a guy that's 5 for 5, or 4 for 4. I guess he's going to be 4 for 5 now, but he does advance the runner. That's why you don't bunt a guy who's 4 for 4, because he's going to get the job done the right way. As Ellie De La Cruz looks for the walk-off. Infield is in here. Circle change, fouled away. Ooh, up and in. That's going to do it. Reds win. Walk-off. Ellie De La Cruz. Play probably should have been made. But the Reds will go to 1-1. And my favorite player of all time gives us our first win of the franchise. And I think I was sending Dane Myers on contact there in the infield no matter what. And this one belongs to the Reds. But it was Matt McLain, though, I think that really made the play that I liked the most there with that. The ability to be able to advance him. Graham Ashcraft shutting things down. And who started this game for us? I think it was Rhett Lauder. Brady Singer goes 6 innings. Only allows the 1. Has 5 strikeouts. How about that outing? Tell you what, my teeth still hurting after my wisdom teeth surgery. But it's this one right here. Kind of starting to get the feeling that maybe there's an infection. I don't know, though. Never gotten them out before, so couldn't tell you. And then the last game, we won 5-1, so we do win the opening series of the season. Matt McLain, another great game. 3 hits in this one. Sal Stewart, 2. Ellie De La Cruz with a hit. And then Spencer Steer picks up the home run, so maybe the first home run of the season for us. Rhett Lauder, 5 innings of work, 1 earned, 2 strikeouts. Tony Santillan does bounce back and does not allow a run. As now we enter our first series against the Pirates, a team that I think is the Reds' main rival at this point. I think they're the team most similar to the Reds. They're around there with the Cubs and the Brewers, but I think the Cubs and the Brewers are a little bit of tier ahead of both of these teams. As Matt McLain picks up 2 more hits. TJ Friedel, Suarez, and Benson each with 2 hits. As Chase Burns goes 4 innings, allows 4 earned. And then Jose Franco allows 3. Connor Phillips also allows 3. So rough day for the bullpen, just rough day for the pitching overall. As bottom of the 8th, 2 outs. We will simulate this one right here. And the Pirates have now won the first 2 games of the series here. As Matt McLain, another multi-hit game. Brandon Williamson struggling in that game. Graham Ashcraft also gives up 2. I don't want to hop into a bunch of games here, but I do think here, with the start that we've seen this season here for Matt McLain, 21 at-bats, and he has 15 total bases, 11 hits. Great start so far for Matt McLain. Let's hop into a player lock. See if we can't salvage this series against the Pirates. TJ Friedel, 190 average. Will Benson, Stevenson, and Ke'Bryan Hayes at the bottom have just all struggled. All right, sunny game here. So this is something I really like. I like how I can look at the farm report. Sal Stewart's not going to be on this list much longer. Alfredo Duno and Steele Hall are right here. They're both in high A. Tyson Lewis is also in high A. Just doing this for the time being. They may eventually get the bump up to double A, but just keeping them in high A for the moment. Chase Petty is another guy I think has the potential to eventually come up to the big leagues, maybe even this year. He's like the one guy that I think is like on the cusp. Hector Rodriguez is also on the cusp, but we'll see. So Andrew Abbott had the excellent opening day start for us. He's on the mound for the second time this season. Marcelo Zuna up to the plate. And, yep, I don't know why I dove for it. We're here to see Matt McBang, not Matt McDefense. 1-1 here early in the game, so TJ Friedel must have had a solo shot. Mitch Keller on the mound here for the Pirates. Quickly down 0-2. He may look to go right back to the outside. He did. So Mitch Keller knows where he wants to pitch Matt McLain. And, ooh, this is new. Got him. Just did he try to slide? Trying to look at my. Oh, he did slide in there. Just looked weird. All right, bottom 3. Matt McLean risking that average falling below 500. And it's going to. That's a pitch you got to hit. Mitch Keller keeps going to the outside there. Three to 2 the score now. Come on, man. We can't chase. We cannot chase here. There we go. Surprised Keller's not going right back to the outside here. Maybe he was doing it to set him up for something later.
Ball. Ball.
This next one might be one to hit. You don't want to risk walking the leadoff guy, and then Ellie De La Cruz is right behind him. The meat of that lineup right behind him. This one's hit to right field. Matt McLean 0 for 3. Now we go to the top of the 8 where it's 5 to 3. Brock Burke on the mound. Flip to Ellie. 4-6-3 double play ends the 8th. Or the top half of the 8th. As we go to the bottom where Mason Montgomery's on the mound and Matt McLean is working on an 0 for 3 day. It's an 0 for 4 day. And the Reds will get swept. That's not good. 2-hit day for Suarez. Friedel hits his second home run of the year. Andrew Abbott wasn't great. Graham Ashcraft also not great in this game. And that's unfortunate to be, start the season 2-1 against a good Red Sox team, and then all of a sudden you are 2-4 as Sal Stewart head contusion. He'll be out for 1 to 2 weeks. We'll put him on the 10-day. And this is the part of the game where this is honestly what starts to get me a little bit, is when we have to move people up and down. It can get a little tedious. Can JJ Bleday, can he play? We'll move him up just because he's at the big league level right now in real life. Austin Hendrick is also at the AAA level in real life, so go ahead and call him up. And then Kyle Henley, let's just call him up to the AA level, whatever. And we also need to add somebody to 40-man. Let's add Michael Tolia. See, yeah, this is the part, like, you gotta go to the lineups and you gotta edit the lineups, and it gets a little tedious. Nathaniel Lowe fits right in, though, against righties here. And then I think that the energy levels of everybody they're depleted. This is the one cool thing, though, I think, when you're, not cool, I guess, but when you're doing, like, your AA and AAA lineups, unless you really want to have specific guys getting more at-bats, you just plug and play. It is what it is. All right, so now it's a series against the Rangers. And TJ Friedel will be out for a couple of days. And the Reds win 4-0 here. get back in the win column. Matt McClain, another multi-hit game. Ellie De La Cruz. Suarez with 3 hits, so getting that average up. A triple for Eugenio Suarez. How many hits did he have? He had 3 hits, so he was like a home run away from the cycle. Brady Singer, what a game. Ooh, Emilio Pagan in the jam here. We do win at 7-4. And now's the first day we can look at scouting. So that's kind of what I wanted to get to here. Matt McClain, who are you? 3 for 5. Another multi-hit game for him. Suarez and Blade both with home runs in this one. And then Rhett Lauder allows 3 through 5. And Emilio Pagan picks up save number 1 of the season. But now we can finally look at scouting. And I think the big thing here is we have pick number 18. So these top guys like Johnny Foreman and JJ Mays and Jorge Delgado. I think these are interesting players here, but they're not players that I think we would be able to really have a realistic chance at getting. How about Martin Branch, though? I think he looks incredible. Ryan Harrington. Okay, so there are definitely some position players here to look at. How about the mustache on Eli Castro? Like, what are we doing? He's around that. That mustache is crazy. Like, I would definitely change that, dude. I don't want... What are we doing? Sawyer Traxler. How about that name right there? Cleveland Tuttle. Nice little name there. You know, I think the plan of attack has to be here early. Let's find these guys who are a little older and find out what we could potentially get in somebody that's a little bit older. How about like a JJ Randolph? Has excellent power. He's a lefty bat. 21 years old. I think these are the guys that I want to look at early. Like Joel Ortiz. Would it be Joel or Joel? Joel? I do like these older prospects. A little bit more than like the 18-year-olds. And obviously you want to look at these guys at the top because there's a chance they could be there, but they're probably not going to be. There's a chance, and I think like I would look at these guys later. So I want to do, so that it'd be pitchers we'll do first. So let's look at starting pitchers. Let's see what region would give us the most here. So I have to get my phone out here. You know, we have... Let's just do top 100. Like, which of these guys... So we have East, West, Central, and International. So how many East region pitchers are in the top 100? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, so 12. And this is like this is the tedious part. You know, this is the part, you know, nobody wants to watch this stuff. But I find it it's the most fun for me. All right, West, we got 1. Really? 2, 3, 4, 4. That's kind of crazy. I expected there to be a little bit more than that. Central has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, So 11. Expected to be a little bit more than that. East may be the region that we scout out of here. And then international. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 13. So the real question, I think, is like, who has more around that pick 18? I think they both do. Daniel Ono. And I feel like in real life, the Reds aren't really going, they're not really in the international pitcher market. I think they kind of stick to their specific regions that they scout out of. Rhett Lauder was a Wake Forest guy, right? Just kind of fits what they do. Hunter Green, of course, was a West Coast guy, but yeah, Rhett Lauder, and then you have Chase Burns, also from Wake Forest, so this is another East Coast guy. I think left fielder, center fielder, and right fielder is kind of these positions that I think we need the most. So I think I'm going to go, holy crap, I'm going to scout starting pitchers out of the East region. And I think that's what we're going to do. And maybe we do it for 7 weeks. We see where we're at. Maybe we do it for 10 weeks, and then we take some time to scout some of these. Kind of, speaking of which, I wanted to see these. Oh, crap. Some of these international guys here, though. Like, do we have any that are older that would be potentially intriguing? Like William Morey could be interesting. Got some pretty solid velocity. We'll see. I think it's just important to kind of pick your region. I think the East region's strong. I think the international region's kind of strong as well. And then let's go back over here to these outfielders. We have a couple here. We have Alan Tanana, who looks pretty solid here. He is younger, though. So like I said, I kind of want to look for these guys that are a little older first. And then we'll start to scout these other guys. Like Joel Ortiz, I think, would be like an interesting prospect. The bat doesn't really look like it's there yet. And we don't really see older outfielders that we could potentially go after. I mean, we do have Eli Castro here at shortstop as an interesting prospect. My gut tells me he'd probably be gone, though, unfortunately. Martin Branch, also kind of the same thing. I feel like he'd be gone. We'll scout these two shortstops first. Get them out of the way. All right. Moving on. Top of the ninth, 2 outs, and the Rangers do pick up the last game of that series. Suarez with 2 home runs. That puts him at 3 on the season as Chase Burns gives up 2 over 4 innings. Pierce Johnson struggling. Jose Franco. Man, we need bottom of the ninth, 1 out. Marlins win that one 7-5. 2 hits for Nathaniel Lowe. 3 for Steer. The bullpen's struggling right now. Wasn't a great game for Brandon Williamson, but still. We'll enter here.
next for Cincinnati, third base.
Suarez has been pretty solid here. 3 home runs on the season so far in the first couple of weeks of the season. He is 0 for 2 in this one, though. Ah, man. Man, he made that look like he wanted to swing. We're going to send Ellie here. Guess not. We can send him again. I don't imagine he'd get thrown out.
Ball, that's off the plate.
Not even close. Like, how would Ellie not have like 120 stolen bases if he could do that every single time? The only way you're getting him out is if you throw a pitch out. I didn't. I tapped the button. Like, I went like. Should have been a check swing. Connor Phillips out there. Here's Otto Lopez, one of the best contact hitters in the game. These uniforms the Marlins are wearing are slick. Do like them. I'm a fan. That was a terrible call by the umpire, by the way. Come on, don't lose them. Got him. Strike 3 on Otto Lopez.
Up next for the Marlins, right fielder, Austin Slater.
Ball.
Ooh, that was a rough pitch right there. That Willie Beeman out there. Will Benson. Connor Phillips settling in after a little bit of a rough beginning to the at-bat against Otto Lopez. As Ellie's there to make the play. We go to the ninth, tied at 1. And here is Will Benson. Does have a home run so far this season, but only batting 194, which is not great. And he'll face Anthony Bender here. Sweeper's in there for a strike. Late on the sinker. Call stands. Here's Noelvi Marte. Has a solo home run in this game. And does have a .333 average so far this season. Come on. I'm lacking the discipline right now. Way behind the fastball. And here's Nathaniel Lowe, .238 average, 0 for 3. Man, we need a big play here. And he chops it to second. Are you kidding me? The only chance we have of winning this game is a miracle. I promise you, the more that I play it, hopefully if I play often enough, you know, I'll really be able to get better at it. But hopefully the more that I play it, the better at hitting I get. Like I said, hopefully, you know, the time in between games or live streams isn't so far that I never actually do get better. Because right now, I suck. Cal Raleigh hits for the cycle? What? See it down below. Right now it's showing the Pirates, but obviously it just said Cal Raleigh hits for the cycle and win. Ooh, that's close. I'm gonna challenge it. Yeah, that's a terrible challenge. Can't be doing that. Come on, Tyler Stevenson. I just saw the Reds made a post that said ABS. What did it say? ABS Stevenson. Something stupid like that. Apparently, he's the second best catcher in baseball at challenging balls and strikes.
For the Marlins, second baseman, Xavier.
Xavier Edwards, another one of those really good contact hitters here with the Marlins. All right, we're going to extra innings again. This time we can't walk it off, unfortunately. Pete Fairbanks into the game as here's Spencer Steer to the plate.
Ball that's outside.
Could take Nathaniel Lowe out here. Not going to, though. Dude, that's the second time that Spencer Steer swung at a ball that hit him.
Ball.
Oh, and that one did hit him. Surprised I didn't swing at it.
For Cincinnati, catcher
Jose
Jose Trevino.
Trevino, 0 for 3. 35-year-old catcher. Gosh, that's a slow swing. Gotta be able to get around on this fastball of Pete Fairbanks.
Ball one.
Trying to bunt here, and the CPU just knows when to challenge. Too late to do a bunt now. Still no chance with Trevino. Matt McClain still batting .391, but that's kind of come back down to earth just a little bit. Gosh, I can't hit. I suck at hitting in this game. We're going to get better. Hopefully. If we don't get better, I just don't. I don't know what to tell you. This isn't my strong suit. Like, that's a cutter right down the middle, and we're swinging right through it. What am I supposed to do? Now Dane Meyer's up.
Ball that's upstairs. That's ball two.
Dude, challenge after challenge. Obviously, I hate to say it, but, you know, I'm going to start skipping a lot of these unless it's, like, an important one, like in the playoffs or something.
Ball that's outside.
I thought he was going to do it again. Probably would have gotten it, too. Too early. The only thing I can think of here is obviously you're going to intentionally walk here. The guy on first does nothing.
For the Marlins, winner,
Graham Pauley up at the plate here. He's 1 for 1. Come on, Ellie, hurry. 6-4-3 double play, so that's why you put that man on first there.
first baseman,
Griffin Conine now, 174 average. Could we see an 11th inning? Okay, there's strike. Another, yeah. See, I'm not going to continue to. How's it? That's not a strike.
Ball. Ball 3.
Got the bases open. No reason to put something down the middle. But this might be Emilio Pagan's last batter.
Ball upstairs.
He's struggling to find the zone right now. And he's going to get out of it. We're going to the 11th where I'm not going to be able to do anything.
For the Marlins, number 84, Lake Bacher.
Lake Bacher up for the Marlins as Ellie De La Cruz stands in with a 244 average, was the hero in the walk-off victory.
Ball, that's too high.
Was it against the Pirates? Or no, we got swept against the Pirates. Was it the Rangers, maybe? Can't even remember now.
Ball 2.
Got to get something to hit right here. I had it made up my mind that we were going to get something to hit. And I was not watching that pitch. He's intentionally pitching around Ellie. 4 balls that we've seen. He's intentionally pitching around our best hitter, and we're not letting him. We're going to strike out. Watch out. There we go. Base knock. Stay at third. Stay at third. Would have scored, but it is what it is. Because now we can steal Ellie, of course. Why would you not? Now base hit scores 2 now. And they're going to load the bases up. They don't even want Suarez hitting here. Interesting tactic here for the Marlins. Bases juice, nobody out. And we just popped up to shortstop.
Infield fly rule, batters out.
Will Benson's been here for like a millisecond, and he's already risking going back down to AAA. Oh my gosh, dude.
Now pitching for Cincinnati, number 64, Tony Santia.
Bases loaded, nobody out, and that's the result that you get. It's not good.
Ball, that pitch is up.
That's not good. I've not made our mind up whether I plan on, like, you know, what is the threshold between... Oh my gosh, dude. Selling and buying at the deadline. Like, where do we need to be to buy? Do we need to be, you know, winning our division? If we're winning the NL Central come the trade deadline, do we buy? What threshold do we have to be at to sell? You know, do we have to be like in 4th or 5th in the NL Central?
Too high. Ball.
If we're sitting there on the cusp and we're like a wild card team, do we buy? Do we sell? What do we stay where we're at? Maybe we do a 1-for-1 swap for one player that we don't necessarily need
Outside.
for a player that we could use. Not really made my mind up what kind of... That was a bad challenge. What kind of, you know, team I want this team to be. Like, it's also weird because, like I said, based on the title too, like, this is a win now team. Like, the time to win is now. And so you don't want to enter a rebuild. You don't want to sell, but you also don't want to move pieces who could later contribute, all to just make the wild card. And the Marlins are going to win. And I have to go to the bathroom. Well, that's an unfortunate loss. Just, you go bases loaded, nobody out in the top of the 11th, and you don't win the game. That's not good. Very unfortunate. All right, so we're 4-7. Nick Lodolo will stay on the 15-day IL, and Caleb Ferguson is good to come back, so he will come back. Ellie De La Cruz with 2 hits. Brady Singer, oh my gosh. 8 innings, 9 strikeouts. Like, wow. Brady Singer is the best player that we have right now. And with that, we will send Jose Franco down to AAA. And then do we go? No, let's go this guy right here. Sam Benshotter down to AA. And I guess we'll go Nick Sando down to single A. So where does that plug Caleb Ferguson in? It's right here in the middle of the bullpen. And how about Brady Singer here? 21 innings of work. He's an 81 overall. He's only 29. He is set to become a free agent, though, at the end of this season. Making $12.8 million this year. Last year was his first year with the Reds. Had a 4.03 ERA. Struck out. Where's the strikeouts? 163 and 169 innings pitched. So about almost a 9 K per 9, which has been really where he's been at his entire career. But through his first 3 starts of the season here in 2026, he has been dominant. I'm not seeing grading changes yet. I think you got to wait about a month before you finally do that. The Pirates are 10-2. We're in last place here. We do win this one 4-2. So we win the series. Or no, I guess we split the series here against the Marlins. 3 hits for Nathaniel Lowe. Hits a home run. Steer hits his second. And Rhett Lauder puts together a pretty solid performance. Brock Burke. And Sal Stewart has returned. So we'll have to make some more changes here. But 4 hits for Stevenson, 3 for Suarez. Stevenson gets his first homer of the year. And then Chase Burns finally gets a good outing for us in this game. Tony Santillan struggled. And Graham Ashcraft both giving up runs in that game. But now back to 500 baseball. And with J.J. Bleday up, batting .250 through his first 12 at-bats. And Dane Myers not really performing all that well. He'll go down to AAA. And then, how's Austin Hendrick batted? Not bad. Home run through 33 at-bats. Blake Dunn has kind of struggled, but he's got 2 homers. And in real life, Rhys Hines has been DFA'd by the Reds. So I think that maybe that's the move that we go with next. First, we'll go with Ivan Johnson down to AA. Big thing here is just lineup management. Daniel Lowe's kind of playing good right now. I feel like this definitely has messed with my lineup. Like Sal Stewart batting is our DH here. Why is it doing this? And this is one of the reasons that I quit playing. Like, why is it messing with my lineup? Yeah, like if I'm controlling it, why is this happening right now? Like, why is Matt McClain, who's batting 333 all the way at the bottom of the lineup? Why is Eugenio Suarez batting third? Which I don't hate the idea of doing, because that would allow so we'll do something like this, I guess. Just a little frustrating. It's like, this is the one thing about like when you're streaming something that can hurt the series just a little bit. Yeah, I don't imagine many people would stick around for those parts of the stream. Like another injury, like Luke Hayden, fractured wrist. Like, who is Luke Hayden? Is he? What position does this guy play? Pitcher, maybe? Yeah. I mean, I guess if I was doing this by myself, it wouldn't be such a big deal. But then that's where I kind of like lose interest in it as well. But we've been bouncing around about 3 concurrent viewers. So, like I said, if you're in here, let me know what you guys think of this. And then also curious who your favorite MLB team is. All right, so here's what scouting is looking like. Martin Branch looks the part. He looks like a really good ball player. Eli Castro, I think he's going to be one of those players that comes in where like he's going to be as good as he's going to be. And so I'm going to no longer continue to scout him. And I think at this point we can look at some other guys here down the list. And I kind of want to scout the guys that are around 15th or higher on the MLB board. Don't want to waste time scouting anybody else. And Alan Tanana here looks like he could be pretty solid. So we'll go ahead and do that right there. And we sweep the Angels. So how about that right there? Only 5 hits in this game, but it was enough. As Eugenio Suarez hits his 4th homer. Andrew Abbott with a really good game. And Brady Singer back on the mound here. Playing against Tyler Mahle. Let's get a player lock with Brady Singer here. Make sure we're doing enough playing to where it makes sense. Sal Stewart, 304 average so far, 16 games into the season. And the only guy in this lineup right here that's really struggling is TJ Friedl, batting 214. So, yeah, Brady Singer dominant on the mound as of late? Yeah, I would say so. Here's the farm report. Cam Collier kind of sucking. Chase Petty, though, pretty good at AAA. Austin Hendrick. We'll continue to keep an eye on some of these prospects. Brady Singer is the NL leader in ERA here throughout the first 16 games.
Ball one.
First pitch, 640.
And he was the best pitcher here for us. I touch him, and 2 pitches into the game, he's given up a base hit. This is a good pitch right there. Whew. And that's going to be a run for the Giants. So seems like what I'm touching is turning the trash just like that. Sorry, Brady Singer. It was a good run while it lasted.
Ball.
Oh my gosh, dude. Like, what do I do? He goes from, like, allowing 1 run through 21 innings to gives up 3 runs in 2 minutes. All right, still time to settle in, though. 3 runs. You can come back from that. Can't get him. Willie Adames.
Ball one.
This has been a pretty solid at-bat for Willie Adames here. The slider, the sweeper that we're throwing isn't getting him. So let's go with the fastball. Right down the middle.
Ball one.
Okay, there's a slider in there. But yeah, so I did a Reds franchise off camera, and I got to
That's a ball.
about right after the draft, and I screwed up the draft. I screwed it up big time, and kind of was trying to take my time with it. But I think when I'm recording something, I'm doing live streams, even if many people aren't watching it, it kind of requires me to take my time, and it makes me wait a little bit, not just get so jumpy to try and get to nice pitch there by Singer, but just try and get to the draft. And so I think that's the big thing. If I'm trying to spend 3 hours and I have
Nope.
a start and an end goal as to where I want that gaming session to take me, it makes me slow down at times. So I don't know, just kind of feels like I'm cheating because I had a crappy draft class, so I decided to just restart my franchise. But at the same time, kind of getting the itch to record it as well. I do YouTube in a way almost more for me than I do for the viewers, if that makes sense.
Nope. Outside.
But boy, oh boy, what a rough first inning here for Brady Singer. Elliot Ramos, that's a terrible swing. And we got him swinging. 2 strikeouts for Singer, but he allows 3. And the Luis Arise 2-run homer. And then, yeah, just Rafael Devers RBI double.
That's outside. That's ball 2.
Good play there by Ellie.
Batting ninth, second baseman Casey Schmidt.
Oh, that's a strike.
missed out.
You know, the commentators kind of give it away a little bit. I was playing with the commentators on at one point. Dude, by like a hair. And the commentators sometimes will give it away. They'll say, oh, that looked like a strike. And then they'll be like, okay, that's my cue to go ahead and challenge now. Jung Ho Lee, who led this game off with a base knock, and then later scored on the Rafael Devers double. And then Luis Arise with the big home run, as this one's hit pretty well to center field, and the catch is made. What a play. Who is that out there in center? TJ Friedel makes the play. Thought it was a right-handed player out there.
Leading off for San Francisco, first baseman Rafael Devers.
Ooh, we score 3 in the bottom half of the second to tie it up. So, maybe Brady Singer settling in just a little bit here. Whew, that's a dangerous pitch to throw to Rafael Devers. Strike 3. Good at bat there for Singer. Somehow he didn't give up a home run right there. Here's Luis Arise, though, who does have a home run in this game.
That ball's foul.
Luis Arise has such a fun skill set to have on your team. You know, he's going to go out there and hit for 300 average. He's going to hit, you know, maybe 10 home runs. But the interesting thing about Luis Arise, when you look at him, is because his potential is high and his ratings aren't the greatest because defensively he's not good. That's a strike. I'm challenging it. That's strike 3. Defensively, his ratings aren't that good. So when he develops in franchise, and his contact's already maxed out, so isn't his vision and clutch. The thing that he develops is power. And so his power will go up to like 50. And so with 99 contact and 50 power, it makes a big deal.
Ball.
And that's gone. Giants retake the lead. Been a rough outing for Brady Singer.
Hey. Ball.
And oh my gosh, if there's anybody that's watching the Utah State Livestream dynasty, that's watching this far now or after the fact, I do plan to continue that dynasty. The only thing is, I don't know if we're gonna play every single game for the remainder of the season. I do plan on finishing the season at least, but we may end up going to more of that play the moments style of video,
That's out.
just so that we can finish that season. I don't want to leave it after only playing 3 games, but I do want to come back to it. Oh my gosh, you can't go to second right there. Who is that?
He's in.
Suarez, and that's why Suarez shouldn't be out there playing third.
Catcher Patrick Bailey.
Ball. That's out.
Lucky that's not a home run. That one might be. Off the top of the wall. At the plate, not in time, and it might be time to pull Brady Singer, and it is.
For the Reds.
Giants win. So, sorry Brady Singer. He had been pitching so well before I decided to try and get a player lock game in with him. Home run for Nathaniel Lowe. And Brock Burt gives up one, but Sam Mole has yet to give up an earned run this season. So the draft is in, oh my gosh. The draft is in 87 days. We'd have to get like through 2 months in the next live stream. So Giants win that one as well. Blake Dunn, torn ACL. He's done for the remainder of the season. And that's unfortunate. And so now who comes up to replace him? Is it going to be Jay Allen, who's not really played well? Shane Sasaki? We don't have the bodies to do it. Yerlin Confidon will come up to AA. And I'm actually fairly positive that before he got hurt, Blake Dunn had been playing pretty good at AAA. 57 plate appearances. 275. Yeah, 275 average, 3 homers. Had been playing pretty solid. In real life, and there's a lot of talk of maybe he's the replacement to TJ Friedel because he's kind of done a little better than Friedel. We do win the finale. Sal Stewart with 2 hits, Tyler Stevenson with 2 hits, and Chase Burns, another really good outing for him as his ERA goes down to 3.1. Emilio Pagan picks up save number 5, and now Will Cannon, fractured arm, he'll be out 1 to 2 months. 7-6. Eugenio Suarez out. We do win this game. Home runs for Friedel, Hayes, Steer, and Marte. So 4 home runs for us in this game. And so now we have to go and look at the injured list because who is Will Cannon? He's a reliever, so. And with that injury to Eugenio Suarez, the question now becomes, who do you call up now? I think that Reese Hines is there. He can play third. So I think he's the guy you call up. Run out of bodies here. Ivan Johnson's not really been good. I think Jay Allen at 23 years old, I think it's time. All right, so our third baseman is going to be Ke'Bryan Hayes. And this is our DH against lefties. Man. It's not really... So we'll see how that injury affects us. It's not going to be a super long-term injury. Oh my gosh, dude. Like, what are we going to do? Garrett Hampson injured now. Like, We do win 3-2, and we're back to scouting. It's 3 straight wins for us. Marte with a triple, and Andrew Abbott. It's a pretty good outing. But yeah, I mean, like this is where it can get a little frustrating, even for myself. Like, is this where Steele Hall? I think this is where we're finally gonna have Steele Hall come up. Is he getting development at all? Not yet. He's not, but he's gonna come up though. We need him, and this is where it makes sense. All right, so now we can get back to scouting. Yeah, Martin Branch looks really good. I do got to say, I worry, though, that he wouldn't be available. And I think that's probably an obvious to assume that. And then Alan Tanana. So another one of those players where he's probably going to come in relatively around his overall. Continue to look at him a little bit more. And do we finish up this scouting here on Martin Branch? I just don't imagine he's going to be available. So we're going to actually swap him out instead. And I think that the next guy that I have interest in looking at here is going to be Sawyer Traxler. Defensively focused player. Maybe has the potential for a bat. Crazy name, though. I'll tell you that right now. Crazy name. We'll enter here. Got some time here. $66 views total, so not terrible at all. So we're 12-9. Even through all the injuries, like every time I hit the triangle button, or Y button, I should say, that's what I'm playing on. It just feels like, oh, here we go, another injury. Go Spencer Steer here. It's Taylor Rogers here. Former Red on the mound for the Twins. Another thing to consider too is I'm not going to get any better if I'm not getting playing time. Dude, I feel like I swing late with Steer. I don't know why. Just maybe the camera angle is just not my friend when I'm hitting with Spencer Steer, but that's got to be a hit. Matt McClain stands in. He's still batting .337. 96 plate appearances into the season, and he is playing pretty well. Late on that one. Oh my gosh, dude. It's just an ugly swing. Cannot have that happen. Well, how about Ellie De La Cruz? 236 average. Has not hit a homer, so the power has just not been there for Ellie. I don't know why, but like it was doing the same thing when I was playing my last season. I had to go into player lock and eventually get a home run with him. This is so bad. He definitely went. I think he definitely went.
No, inside.
Okay, 2-2. Maybe that right here is a pitch to hit. You don't want runner in motion. Strike 3. Like, do I just spend time on, like, the practice mode? Okay, we'll enter here. Top 9, 1 on, nobody out. Might as well. 1-0 here. Cole Sands on the mound for the Twins.
Ball, that's down.
It's early. You got to get good swing timing. If you don't get good swing timing, you're going to do things like that. And that's a routine 6-4-3 double play. And that leaves it up to Reese Hines, who just got the call back up to the bigs in what could potentially be his last opportunity. It's like swinging at everything. Screw it. That's what we do.
Ball, that's outside.
I just think I have to be more picky. Unless it's in the middle of the zone, lay off of it the best of your ability. Once you get 2 strikes, of course, you have to start to protect. Home run. Let's go. Tied game. Reese Hines is who I get my first home run of the franchise with. Down to our last strike, and we tie it. That's huge. That is huge. So welcome back to the big leagues, Reese Hines. Now Tyler Stevenson stands in. He's 2 for 3. Again, I think we just be more picky about what pitches we're swinging at here. I must have hit my hand earlier on something because it's sore. So when I'm swinging, I can feel it in my hand. Oh, that's the pitch to hit right there. It's too late on it. Yeah, that's stupid. After having like one of my best at-bats. We'll return to simulating, and the Twins walk it off. Brock Burke. In the bottom of the 9th. Tell me again why Brock Burke's the one that's coming in? Yeah, I don't... And not Emilio Pagan? That's kind of crazy. Brooks Lee goes 3 for 3, so good day for him. Okay, so that... Let's take a look at the lineups here. See what the stats are looking like. TJ Friedel, 253 average, 3 homers. Not too bad. Matt McClain, 333 average. Ellie has really not been great. He's on a cold streak at the moment. Sal Stewart, still waiting for his first homer, but, you know, not a bad start for him. Daniel Lowe's played really good, though. Spencer Steer has also played really good. Stevenson. Noelvi Marte's played good, even. And then Key Brian Hayes with 2 homers. I mean, how's Key Brian Hayes got more homers than Ellie De La Cruz? JJ Bleday, Reese Hines, Will Benson, and then Jose Trevino honestly playing pretty well at the moment. And then up here at AAA, some guys I wanted to look at here. Anybody playing especially well is the big thing. Like Carter Graham at AA is playing pretty good, but he's a D potential guy. So, you know, not the guy first on my list that I'm excited about. Although this is intriguing right here. To see Cam Collier be able to put up the power that he's put up in 49 at-bats. It's pretty good. Here's a look at the rotation. Rhett Lauder has been the worst for us so far this season. And then out of the bullpen, Sam Mole's been really good. Caleb Ferguson, really good. So not too bad. Nothing that I see that would be like, okay, it's time to make a change somewhere. 3-0 win here against the Tampa Bay Rays, as Lowe and Hines each with 2 hits. As Nathaniel Lowe hits home run number 4 as well. And Rhett Lauder brings the ERA down below 4 again. So exactly the kind of outing you need right there. Tony Santi on the mound again. And he does his thing again. Chase Burns. That's like, how many games in a row is that? Chase Burns has went out on the mound, and let's look at his last. How do you look at his last 10 or his last 5 starts? Right here, recent games. 3 straight games now he's not allowed to run. So that is 13 straight innings of shutout baseball with 15 strikeouts. So that's really good. Last couple of starts for Chase Burns. He has struggled early on, though. Brandon Williamson looking to get the sweep, and the Reds do. 3-1 victory. Spencer Steer with home run number 5. And a great game for Brandon Williamson. And Nick Lodolo is no longer injured, and he has come off of the injured list. And I don't think we are going to be sending anybody down out of the starting rotation. I think Brandon Williamson's played really well for us. So what I think happens now is we take Pierce Johnson and maybe send him down. I mean, I don't know. Could send Connor Phillips down. I mean, the whip is pretty high. I think I am going to send Connor Phillips down. And so Brandon Williamson will now work out of the bullpen. He'll just be a middle reliever. No sense in giving him a long relief option, or maybe we do, instead of Pierce Johnson. So we go 2 lefties out of the long relief role. I don't know. Kind of. We'll see. I mean, Connor Phillips probably wasn't the best guy to send down. I just think it was kind of the one that made the most amount of sense. Steer with 2 more hits. With the power he's shown this season. And Brady Singer on the mound. See if he can rebound from his most recent rough outing. We'll get a player lock in here with Spencer Steer. 15-11 is our record. I think we will certainly make it through this month. You know, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be like 2 months of simulating or 2 months of action. And then the next stream. But also with the next stream, we don't have to spend 20 minutes going over the team before we start streaming. Steer out there and left. Dylan Dingler at the plate. And Steer drifting back. Can't make the play. Get it in, Steer. Holy crap. That'd be a tough play to make. Run did not score, so that's good.
Ball 1.
Let me guess, I'm late. A good swing timing. I just got to be able to hit that right there. Got to turn on that inside curve. And I struggle hitting with Spencer Steer. Advances the runner, though, and gives us a 1-0 lead. As Riley Green steps up to the plate now. Nice. Good play there by Ke'Bryan Hayes. That takes us to the bottom of the 4th. My wrist is giving me issues.
No, inside.
So I wonder, with the next group of games, the next wave of games coming out. Oh my gosh, man. Just early. Got to make contact with that. Are we back? Are we back? What the heck just happened? I think we're back here. That was weird. OBS just kind of took a crap on me. The colors look okay and everything. I can't tell if they started getting jacked up. No.
Did he go?
No. Come on. Good swing timing, and you're fouling it back. Out in front of that one. We may have an opportunity in the bottom of the 9th. We do, but nobody on. Kenley Jansen. How old is Kenley Jansen now? 38 years old. Played with the Angels last year and had a pretty good season. He's another one of those guys that's like one of the best closers of my lifetime. Also, these uniforms are atrocious. Not my favorite. Chopper to second. Tigers win. Ellie De La Cruz with 2 hits. Still without a home run this season. All right, we can look at scouting again here with Alan Tanana. I like the contact. And honestly, him as a hitter in general, but it just seems like he's going to be somebody who comes in and isn't going to get much better. Like right now is that overall and potential gap is just in such a weird spot that I would prefer. I'm going to opt to go elsewhere. And I'm also just kind of banking on these guys right here, like Ryan Harrington, Cy Stewart, and Felipe Francisco not being available by the time we were to select. I'm instead banking on guys like Cleveland Tuttle to be available. Geraldo Benitez. Like, these are the guys that I'm more so like J.J. Randolph. I'm more so expecting these guys right here to be available. We will look at Cleveland Tuttle, though. Looks like he could have really good fielding. Maybe better than... Now, we may need to go to Discovery, because if it's not looking good for us... Suarez comes off the injured list. That's good to see. 3 hits for Steer in that one, so I couldn't do anything with him, but all of a sudden he starts crushing the ball again. Rhett Lauder, really good outing there for him. And now comes the part of who are we sending down? You have J.J. Bleday batting .214. I'm going to go with Will Benson. And that would also allow us to put Jay Allen back down at AA. And Kyle Henley go to high A. And you can always do like auto or whatever. And you can let the CPU or whatever make the decision to make these moves for you. But my biggest worry with that is I always just kind of worry that it's going to make the wrong decision. Like, should Sal Stewart still only be facing... I definitely feel like we should be getting him out there. Maybe getting some second base reps. I mean, I don't know. I think right now that's fine. Suarez there. Don't really want Suarez batting second. Just kind of a weird spot for him to be hitting. All right, so Chase Burns has not allowed a run in 3 straight outings. We do pick up the win here, as Ellie De La Cruz goes 3 for 4. Matt McLean hits his second home run, and Chase Burns does give up some runs, but still a really good outing for him. And Emilio Pagan with 11 saves. I'm almost curious, where does that rank? Number 2, behind Dennis Santana, who... the Pirates have been incredible. They're 22-8. We're in second place there. Kyle Freeland is a lefty. We lose 6-0 in this one. Nick Lodolo struggling in his returns here. Michael Lorenzen, let's do a player lock here against the former Red. And we'll do a player lock with Ellie De La Cruz, who's batting .262. Tyler Stevenson batting .228. Friedel .208. Man, Rockies have sucked this year. We're 17-13. Through 30 games, we're playing pretty solid. Steele Hall, not too bad at AA right now. Cam Collier, 6 homers, though. With a .243 average. So the power is showing right now. And then Hector Rodriguez also seeing a little bit of power, a little pop in his bat. Austin Hendrick has kind of calmed down a little bit at AAA. Ezekiel Tovar I don't think I got the bag at second. That's annoying. And the Rockies score 3. So it would have been an inning-ending double play. Instead, it's a... Oh my gosh, dude. Could you get a pitch any more down the middle? And it's just not been good. Let's do this right here, a little first-person mode here. I don't know if I like this. Cannot turn 2. Last AB, Michael Lorenzen gave a pitch right down the middle, and we were just late on it. This one hit deep to right field, over the head of the right fielder. Ellie De La Cruz will use his speed and slide in the second with a double. 12th double of the season so far for Ellie. We're going here, for sure. Great jump. And go back. Go, no. What are we doing? Dude. What can I say? Michael Lorenzen still has 2 pitches, and I've loved him. He goes right back to the same spot he was just at. He's giving us nothing but fastballs. Way to lay off. And chopper. So at risk of being shut out again here. RJ Petit, the pitcher now. Runner on second, 1 out. Like, these are right down the middle. Like, just late is... I don't know why I can't hit with Ellie. Jake McCarthy up now for the Rockies. Sam Moll on the mound. Whew, just barely got him. Bottom 9, we'll see if we get the opportunity. Yeah, whatever. Oh no, we're on deck, so 0-1 count. Could have been an inning-ending double play. There is 1. There's 2. Rockies win. Don't want Cam Collier to get hurt because he's been playing really well. Davis Daniels struggled. Hagen Danner struggled. Garrett Hampson is injured. Hunter Park's pretty solid. But the guy I'm curious about here is Cam Collier. Obviously a little bit banged up right now, but the contact versus lefties is up. The power versus righties is up. Right now, the development we're seeing out of Cam Collier is pretty solid. We'll see if he's able to continue it here. Brady Singer's on the mound. I think what I want to do is get to the next cycle of scouting. TJ Friedel's going to have to take some... take a couple of days off here. He's just not performing well. I mean, who do you want to hit for him here? You want JJ Bleday? We can do Bleday. Noelvi Marte. We can get Marte some reps as the leadoff guy here, but Matt McClain, 303. Liking what I'm seeing here with a lot of these guys. Suarez, I'm not really too pumped about. Stevenson as well. Blade, I mean, we'll see. I mean, the average isn't terrible for a lot of these guys. And then as far as the rotation goes, Nick Lodolo, going to have to figure it out with a rough first game back. But bullpen looks pretty good. When you look at statistics, team rankings, batting average, we are, I'm going to assume middle of the pack. 20th. Home runs, tied for 23rd. So we're not really getting home runs here. ERA, though, I imagine, top 5. So really good pitching team right now. Pirates got black uniforms there. Those are sick. Let's hop in here. We got 15 minutes, and then I'm going to call it. Unless maybe we get some super sims here coming. But yeah, I think the next scouting cycle is when we're going to call it. Final decision is made. I don't want to get too carried away here. We're 31 games into the season. Solo home run earlier in the game. Screw it. We'll keep him in here. Big thing is just got to avoid chasing anything out of the zone. Easier said than done for me. And pulls him off the bag. So, sliding into second there kind of broke up that double play as JJ Blade comes to plate. My first AB with somebody who's really been crushing it in real life. Ah, man. Kind of dropped that slider right in there, and we're late. Suarez with a homer, Trevino with a homer, and Paul Skeens picks up the win on the mound as Brady Singer gives up 4 through 5 innings. Brian Hayes has 2 home runs, and Ellie De La Cruz has none on the season. Brian Hayes has 2 in 1 game. Sorry for the coughs. So nobody wanted to comment this entire live stream. Unfortunate.
Up next for Cincinnati, third baseman, Brian Hayes.
Brian Hayes doing what he's doing at the plate was not on my bingo card for the beginning of this series.
No.
Zach Neto smashes 3 home runs in the win versus the Mets. Nick Kurtz, 16-game hitting streak. Oh, that was the pitch for number 3. Why am I late on everything all of a sudden? Let's try and just close the door here. Well, we're still... Oh, come on, dude. Marcelo Zuna. Alrighty, we do win it. That's definitely got to be a double with an air, right? Okay, so Ellie De La Cruz does hit his first home run of the season. It's about time. Holy crap. 2 for 4 day for him. All right, Pirates are 24-10. So let's do some scouting. Gosh, man. These guys aren't really good. Like, Sawyer Traxler. Like, his overall is so low to begin with that I'm not really interested in that. Don't like his skill set. Cleveland Tuttle. I'm not taking that for a first round pick, you know. It just sucks because like these guys up here at the top, like you can't waste scouting them because they're not going to be available. Like Johnny Foreman is not going to be available. JJ May is not going to be available. Jorge Delgadio could be, maybe, but likely not. Same thing with Ryan Harrington, which I really like Ryan Harrington and he looks really good. But he's probably not going to be available. Cy Stewart, Felipe Francisco. Geraldo Calderon could be, though. Geraldo Benitez, 22 years old. Could come in with a low overall. I think I almost like J.J. Randolph a little bit more. So my plan is, I think, to go with Geraldo Benitez and then Tommy Ling and J.J. Randolph. And then after that, I think we might go Joel Ortiz. Maybe Richie Casillas just because he's there. But then at that point, I think we would start to go to Discovery. Although I don't really hate Pedro Gonzalez. But we'll go with Geraldo Benitez and Geraldo Calderon first. One's 19, one's 22. Now, I guess I really haven't looked at the starting pitchers out of this East region yet. Like, how about this guy right here and Julian Guerrero? Holy crap. From Florida? 22 years old? He actually might be the selection. 4-seam, splitter, slider, curveball, changeup. I mean, this right here is a sick pitch mix. He looks to be able to strike out righties at an elite rate. He limits the home run ability. Whew. Yeah, Julian Guerrero might be your number one selection for us. See, he looks really good. So they're there. These guys are there. Like, even Irvin Pokey looks really good. I don't like his facial hair, though. Julian Guerrero, though. Alrighty. That's intriguing. Especially if, like, I don't like any of these position players up there at the top. I definitely wouldn't be afraid to do it. So we'll do that right there. But we need outfielders. I think that's the obvious answer. We need outfielders. Let's go one more player lock. And we'll do it with Elly De La Cruz. And then we will call it quits on this live stream. We're 18-15. The Pirates have just dominated the NL Central so far. They're 24-10. Heck, they might even be the best team in baseball record-wise. Here we go. Let's play some baseball from probably the most beautiful ballpark in the MLB. And Bubba Chandler. Don't think he's a prospect anymore. A potential. I mean, doesn't he I feel like he was like drafted as a two-way player, was he not? Elly De La Cruz tied for third in the NL with 38 strikeouts this season. Behind everything. Circle changes, it doesn't matter. One thing I wanted to look at here was so here was Elly at the start of the season. Yeah, power's dropping. Contact's going up though, which is good.
Ball.
Yeah, you can't swing at that. Not on a 3-1.
Runner. Ha!
Got him at second. Runner on first here.
No, that's up. No, that's down. Ball.
Ah, can't swing at that. Gosh, man, late on everything.
Nope, ball. Save! He beats the throw.
3-2 count upcoming. That's ball 4. I think that was too. Chase Burns. Oh my gosh, dude. It went the wrong way. Luckily it didn't haunt us. As Bubba Chandler's out after only 5 innings of work. Why am I late on every pitch?
That's the ball.
Can't do another O for. I need a nice 2-hit day, 3-hit day. Oh my gosh, dude.
Up next for Cincinnati, shortstop
Now facing Mason Montgomery from the right side of the plate. Might walk here. Daniel Lowe on deck, 2 singles. No. Yeah, that's stupid.
Find the ball. Find the ball.
So it looks like we got the lead and then we blew it.
He's out.
Don't know if we're gonna have an opportunity to bat here in the 9th. We are, and we're winning. Like, dude.
That's foul.
There we go.
Pick up the ball. Pick up the ball.
We got a hit. This one hit. Base knock. Runners on first and second now with 2 outs. But the Pirates have put the winning run on first. Brandon Lowe. You can tell I'm 3 hours. Getting towards the end of the video here. Or live stream, I should say. This one. Chopped to McLean. And the Reds win. Suarez with a home run. And Brock Burke picks up the win on the mound with 1 recorded out. So with that being said, that is going to do it. Here's a look at the scouting here. Looks like we may be getting into some discovery, because right now what's been available to us is not the greatest, as the Pirates do have the 2nd best record in baseball, tied with the Orioles. So how about them Pirates? That's going to do it for the first episode of the Reds live stream series. I'll see you guys back for the 2nd one. Not sure when it's going to be. I still want to do Utah State, but we'll figure out as the days go on. But that's going to do it. Thanks for stopping by. See ya.